Right, golfers, do you want to learn how to control club path? Do you want to learn how to control how your body moves to help you hit consistent iron shots, driver shots? Actually control the club path to be able to hit whatever shot you want when you want, not just struggle with a left to right or a right to left. I've got something here which I'm going to use. These are the Y golf alignment discs. I also have their padded alignment rods. I'm going to show you how I use these. Now you could use your rods whatever you want. We're going to be sticking stuff in the ground, putting rods in the way. I'm going to show you how to be creative in a way that will transform how you practice. The reason I'm using these is I have a discount code from down below. So if you're looking for something like this, don't pay more than you should. Get the best price. Use that code or the code coming up here, link down below. And because I'm in an indoor room, what these allow me to do is actually stick these rods in the ground at different angles to allow me to show you how to best practice your golf and get better. Let's show you. Now the main reason I like these is because you've got these holes that the sticks basically go into, and they allow you to set them at different angles, which will show you as the video goes on how that can help. So I've got them both set at 60 degrees, the kickers off. I've got one on the outside, one on the inside. That's around the angle of my setup. It's a little higher, but it's around the angle of my setup. Now, if I was warming up and I was someone who struggled with an over-the-top action, let's be honest, who watching doesn't struggle with that action, then what these two rods are going to do is allow me just to swing under rod and over rod on the way through, and you're going to start seeing that I get this natural little shaped draw. See how that ball's just curving a little bit to the left. Club path, look here, 5 in to out. I'm hitting an iron, not a driver. So I've got nearly a club behind with the disc, nearly a club in front, and then the front of the disc is like a club head inside, and then the outside of the disc is like a club head outside. It's given me such great focus to just hit gentle little 9 irons out here, pushing that path the way I want it to go, and start my session off training with the shot shape I want to see. And that's one of the keys. And I love barrier practice, putting things in the way, making people force a certain movement. I think it's really, really good for lots of reasons, but I also think it can sometimes not do anything. If the barrier's doing all the work, you've got to remember when you're doing this, how much can you recall of these feelings? Because always the question I ask the students, did the barrier do that or did you do that? If it's the barrier and not you, it's not going to work when you take the barrier away. So you can see 3 consistent draws, simple way. You've seen this 100 times. You could stick sticks in the ground if you've got sticks. If you're wanting something for your indoor studios or at the range, you know, where you can't stick stuff in the ground. So clever having the angles and just being able to set these 2 sticks up. Great way to train a different path. But look, there's so many more things. Like it's endless. I'm going to touch on a few things that you can do with these kind of training aids. So the next way I can use this, similar ideas with club path, I'm going to use it to train my takeaway. Let's say I'm someone who shoves the club way outside, someone who rolls it way inside. Where I like the rods being in the way and you've got to move them, I'm also a big fan of kind of a tactile confirmation. So where you try to touch them, you try to hit them, you try to get a reward feeling or reward the feeling with a tactile touch. So I've got the rod set up on the outside of the ball. I'm 60 degrees. I'm going to address this ball. And what I'm going to do is just try and ride the club shaft here. So the club, as it moves back, I'm going to try and get it to touch with the rod and then just come up the rod. So if I'm someone who's very quick to hinge those wrists back or even hinge them up too much, I'm not going to get that feeling of moving up that rod. And the reason I like this one is I would do training this way and then I would move the ball. In this case, my studio's not big enough. I'd move the rod. So now it has nothing to do with the shot, and see how that plays out. See what rewards I get for doing 3 of those before each shot or 10 of those before each shot. So on a range, I would set this up maybe kind of behind or out the way, stand over there, do the confirmation, get the actual tactile feeling of the club hitting the rod rather than trying to miss it and ride up it, and then move into a hitting spot as quick as you can and try and repeat that feeling. Remember, the game is always how can you get the rod to give you the feeling, not how can we get the rod to do all the work. If you go that way round, you take the rods away and they just do not do anything. So I've now got it in the 45-degree angle, and I've got it set up so it's on my trail leg here. It's not sticking out in front of my trail leg. See how it's on my trail leg? Because I don't want to be hitting this on the way down with my arms. Now with the rod behind me, I'm going to use this as ideas of swaying if I move into the rod. if I can move the rod and then come back off it. So I actually quite like to, as students, just get it in the right place, to be touching them, so it's up against that trail, and then they push it away, and then when they get to around here, they then actually start recentering. So they have a, feel it on my side, a shift, a recenter, and a hit. It's much better for lots of people for encouraging a mudder kind of ball then turf strike. So having it behind you here also can assist with how you start using your body, which is so important. Sways influence club path, influence low point and strike. Obviously, where you feel you swing the club, if you confirmation hit or you put them in the way, absolutely can influence the outcome of your shots. What these rods are allowing you to do at home is have some time where you're not left to your own devices just hitting, or at the range, you've got some focused movements that you're trying to achieve to then try and shift the needle in the outcome of your shots. Now you can be as creative as you want with these rods. So what I've got it now placed basically at a 45-degree angle, just touching lead foot and over my ankle of trail foot. So I've got this kind of downward angle out to the right. It's not in my way that I'm going to hit it, but what it does is it gives me this great visual on the way down. I'm trying to feel I'm getting the club more here, coming down at the ball. So let's say I'm someone who wants to go out this way. You can see the contradiction in the angle there is massive, where from this side, I'm using this angle to give me a really good visual of hitting down, out to the right, giving it that lovely strike, and again, that lovely little draw shape. Now, if you're someone who struggles with too much hook, obviously you could be reversing all these ideas around. I'm going to practice now hitting a little fade, so I want to be coming down more this way and down. I don't want to be the player who drops it around and in here, trying to give me that little feeling. Look at that butter little fade. It just does so much swing building work for you that it will allow you to find feelings that you've probably struggled to find in the past. You're not going to hurt yourself if you hit it. Putting it in the ground at different angles is giving you so many possibilities. I've not even touched the surface there on the possibilities. Get some alignment sticks, stick them in the ground if you want to just get alignment sticks. If you can't do that like I can't, use these. Make sure you use my code coming up here so you save as much money as possible. Using sticks to allow you to confirm movements is so powerful. If you want to find out how to hit your driver better though, and longer, this has got the answers that you will need.